What's up, you guys? How's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, I kind of want to talk about something that I've been seeing and kind of just seeing online a little bit more, and I kind of feel like it's a good talking point and something to talk about. It's not about jerseys, as you can tell by the title and probably the thumbnail. We're going to be talking about NHL center ice. So a lot of teams have different kind of center ice. Some have center ice with two logos, some have just one logo, and some have their logo completely covering the NHL circle. Well, last year when the Vegas Golden Knights won the Stanley Cup, they actually did a whole center ice logo completely covering the whole entire circle. And essentially what it was is it was supposed to be like the top of the Stanley Cup, like looking top down, and then their logo is also on it. Obviously I will have a photo on the screen here, but this is what they did. I remember making a video about this way back when. I thought this was fire. I thought this logo and this whole center ice just looked so good. I was such a big fan of it. And to this day I still am. I think it's one of the coolest center ice logos I think that's probably ever been seen. I think it looks so cool. Well, the Florida Panthers also did the same. As you can see here, I'll have a photo up on the screen as well. The Florida Panthers also decided to kind of do their own version of a very similar design, which is looking top down at the Stanley Cup. You can tell by just the gold, and then they also have red all the way around. That's kind of what it's supposed to emulate, is the top of the Stanley Cup. That poses the question is, should this be a new norm in the NHL? Should the teams that win the Stanley Cup the next year make something like this for their center ice for the year after? Did Vegas kind of start a trend? In my opinion, I am all for this. I think this would be so cool to have just as a norm in the NHL, that every time a team wins a Stanley Cup, the next year that team gets something along these lines. They can make it unique to whatever they are, because Florida did something completely different in Vegas. I think it would just be so cool for each team to kind of have its own unique design, but still emulate the Stanley Cup and show that they are Stanley Cup champions. Because when you're going to that arena to face that team, you know, and you want everyone to know that you are the defending Stanley Cup champs. So I think it just would be such a cool tradition if this is something that every team starts to do here on out. I've seen a lot of people say that Florida did it better than Vegas and that Florida center ice looks better than Vegas. I'm going to be honest, I think Vegas's looks way cooler. Not just because it's gold, I think just the design in general just looks way cooler. I love that the outside is that silver. It obviously looks like the Stanley Cup. It's a nice metallic look. I think it just looks really, really good. This, in my opinion, is miles better than Florida's. We'll go back to Florida's. I don't think it's bad. I don't know. It looks more fun than Stanley Cup-esque. I get it. You still have the lines in there. You can tell it's definitely the inside of the Stanley Cup. It just doesn't like scream it to me. When the Vegas Golden Knights won, instantly as soon as you see it, I think this has to do with the Stanley Cup. And I think that's super cool. You also have some cool just engravings on it as well in the gold, which I think just looks really good. So let me know down in the comments your guys' thoughts. Do you guys think that this should be the new norm going forward for jerseys? Next, I kind of want to talk about something briefly. This is a little bit different from what we were talking about, but still kind of similar. It has to do with center ice logos. And it's that the Vancouver Canucks and Ottawa Senators also had new center ice logos along with the Florida Panthers. I'll throw the Canucks one up on the screen here. And essentially what their goal was is to try to fill the whole entire circle with the orca, or at least as much kind of design as possible. Now, the Canucks logo being a little bit awkward, they couldn't just blow it up and throw it at center ice, although I think there's a way they still could have done it better. This is what they went with. I don't think it's bad. I've seen a lot of people kind of reaming this out, saying it's really bad. I don't think it's bad. I think they could have done better, though. I personally think if the whole entire background was that navy blue, instead of having a little bit of white around the orca in that circle, I think that would look 10 times better than what we have here. Although, in my opinion, I don't think what we have here is bad. And the next Ottawa Senators, they have this, which I think I'm such a big fan of this. I've seen some people say they don't like this. I am a huge, giant fan of this. I think this is so cool. I think this looks so good. For teams that have round logos, filling up the whole entire center ice just looks so good. So I kind of wanted to briefly give my opinion on those two and how much I honestly like them, especially that Ottawa Senators one. But it also poses a question, would you guys like to see more teams try to fill out their center ice? I'm personally all for it. I think it adds a little bit of character, a little bit of life to the center of the ice, and I think it would look so cool. I'm intrigued to see, as a Canucks fan, I've never seen a center ice like this before because they've never had one, so I'm intrigued to see how kind of distracting it is when they're playing, because that's a big logo with a lot of color and just a lot going on. So hopefully it's not too distracting. So I'm very intrigued to see how that is. If any of you guys have teams that have center ice kind of like this, that's just fully covered, let me know how it is from watching, like your viewing perspective. I'm very intrigued. But yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts on both topics. Would you guys like to see the Stanley Cup champs have center ice dedicated to that the next year? And would you guys like to see every team come out with kind of a full logo big blast as center ice? Let me know your guys' thoughts. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, it would mean a lot if you guys subscribed, like the video if you enjoyed. I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.